Hello, toy friends. Welcome back. I'm Will, and welcome to the 1A team. It's been a great week. And with me today, he's been gone for 2 weeks, and it just hasn't been the same without him. So I'm happy and proud and glad to introduce Jim Largo from LARGO'S LAIR. How's it going, buddy?
It's getting there. It's been interesting couple of weeks. So
I know they put you through the ringer, but you're still standing, and I'm glad you're back.
Like a Timex, take a licking, keep on ticking.
All right, well, let's get into the 1A team, guys. Here we go. This is the 1A team with me and Largo and you. Guys, today we got a pretty exciting show. It's a first for me. So today on the 1A team, Scott's first. Well, it's a first for me too. We're going to be taking a look at Joy Toy. So my very first, getting my grubby mitts on some Joy Toy figures, thanks to Jim Largo. And we got some Chap Mei news, some community posts, and a little update on the mech contest, plus some other stuff. So before we do that, why don't we say hi to the chat? Who do we got today?
Well, let's see. We've got the Epic Badger, who did a cool show earlier today on some starships. That was fun.
Jesse Hughes. How you doing?
We have Gojitron hanging out. That's right.
Yeah,
you also did a guest jump in on Toy Connections this morning.
That's right. Yeah.
Bjorn, being Bjorn.
Schmodulok, sir.
Multiverse.
Outer Multiverse. How are you?
Our buddy Ian from across the pond.
Aloha.
And Nolan is here. Hey, Nolan.
Nolan, how's it going, buddy?
The Gaz. The super fan of Megaforce and all things cool.
Yes. And quite a handsome man, I might add.
Indeed. Josiah.
How are you? Welcome.
And our buddy BETARAYBOB.
BETARAYBOB, how you doing?
Let's see, boy. The chat just jumped on me. Oh, there we go.
Oh.
Galactic Slime Lord.
Slime Lord, welcome. Nice. That's awesome. That
nice
is fantastic. Yes.
And Death Seeker's here.
All right. Death Seeker.
That's got us caught up.
All right. Excellent. Okay. So, sometimes I go through the news and stuff before we hit the main event, but today I figured let's just jump right into the Joy Toy stuff. So, for me, I've admired this line from afar for many years now. But they're a little pricey, you know what I mean? So I wasn't sure if I wanted to get in on them. So I just went to their website just real quick. They were founded in 2015. There's a science fiction mecha model toy brand with full independent intellectual property rights in China. So they're kind of like the opposite of Chap Mei, who does like their own thing, way on the value side. Joy Toy does it, but on this really premium, figure side. So over the past 7 years, they've been focusing on incubation of peripheral model toys in the fields of animation, film, television, and games. They aim to fill a vacancy in the adult model toy brands and add impetus to the development of local model toy culture in the world. So yeah, awesome brand. They really are doing some fantastic stuff.
Yes. They are very cool. I would say they're probably similar to like what Mofex and SH Figure Arts does for the 1/12 scale, hyper detail, hyper articulation, but for the 1/18 crowd.
Yeah, so I figured, I'm not as familiar with this line as maybe some of the people in the chat. And in previous shows, people have brought up Joy Toy multiple times. So I figured it's about time I get my hands on some. But you can see here just some of the variety in the characters. This is just from the Joy Toy website. You've got these life after the infected characters. These, oh my God, you get that big fat blob over there. You got these zombie kind of, just civilian folks. Some hero characters up top here. just looking fantastic. Oh yeah. I think already Galactic Slime Lord saying that he got that Masan bomber jacket guy. Yeah, he's fantastic looking, man.
Yeah, so they do some that are realistic military from different countries. They also do some like these that were, I think, part of a video game franchise. They're now into Warhammer and a few other different IPs. So they're all
Hmm.
over the place. They're doing some really cool stuff.
Oh, that Warhammer stuff is just brilliant, man. I just saw that. And, I know one of the things people say is the pricing is kind of a hurdle to get over, but looking at some of these guys, I think, they're on the high end, obviously, but, later on when I unbox some of the ones that you sent me, you'll see that you do get quite a bit for your money.
Yeah, they're not only super detailed, but they come with a ton of accessories, and they're premium. But if you have like particular figures that you really like, so if you are a Warhammer fan, um, just cherry pick the line, pick up the stuff that you
Yeah.
really like, and make a
And I
cool
mean,
display.
we have some fantasy characters here. I don't know if this is based on a specific intellectual property, but they look fantastic. I mean, look at these guys. This is high fantasy, beyond compare. This is just beautifully posed figures, tons of detail and accessories. And the price jumps up a little bit on these. And sometimes they're super cheap on Amazon. Yeah, if you could snag a deal
Yep.
on these, do it.
Some of the older ones do go on sale, and Amazon's a
Yeah.
good place to check them out. That's a good point.
I even saw on their website they have some World War II inspired
Hmm.
soldiers. We have U.S. Airborne, Soviet Infantry, Russian Naval, PLA Special Forces. Uh, then, I may have mixed up a couple of these slides. I meant to kind of go in order, but look at these three over here: the Dark Source, Ghost Gate Assassins, 94.99. You get three figures though, so it's really not that bad. But they look badass. Those they would look awesome.
Yeah,
And
and a lot of times they'll come with alternate heads, alternate weapons, and so they either have like 3 packs, which are like a team or a fire team or squad, or they have
sure,
individuals for characters. So it's pretty cool how they do the packaging too.
yeah. And then we see some. We've got some just Marine Corps frogmen, Spartan squad soldiers. There's a World War II German officer figure. They've got some other, just I mean, if you're looking to do 118 scale military, these guys are fantastic. We've got some modern military too. Here's
Hmm.
some of these may be sci-fi based or not, but just fantastic. Go over to Joy Toy, browse what they have, and it's like they definitely have something for everyone. Look at this Cult of Sen Rhea, the Hellwalker H20 motorcycle. Look at that thing. It's badass.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Mechs
and they also,
with
I was gonna say,
figures that go in.
yeah,
I mean,
they do. They're doing bases, they're doing vehicles, and they're doing mechs. And the mechs, I think they do in 2 different scales. They do the
oh,
118, and then they do a smaller scale as well.
I was gonna say they do 124 or 125th scale,
Hmm.
118th scale, and also 112th scale. So there is something for everyone. And whether it be sci-fi, um, military or fantasy, they've got you covered. And they even make small diorama bases and pieces here that I think are all connectable. So that's
They
really
are.
cool as well.
And just like with the figures, you can swap parts on the bases as well. Like the one there, the second from the end is like a place to put your mech for repairs, but you can change the configuration on it and set it up for different things. They have a command center, they have a medical bay, they have a conference room, and you can put
Yeah.
them all together on the shelf and make a huge complex. So it's really
And
cool,
I
and the
think
quality's good.
Brian over on Outer Multiverse was showing us that in his world building, he was using some of these pieces, not quite as constructed, but adapting them for what he was doing there, and
Hmm.
they look fantastic on camera, man. They look great.
Yeah, their
So it's,
accessories are really top notch,
and
and
I think Beta
these
Ray
are
Bob,
compatible. Yeah,
yeah, Beta Ray
even if you
Bob
don't
sent
go
me
for
a
the
link
figures.
that these
Mhm.
were on clearance on, or like much cheaper, like $35, I think, on
Really
Amazon at one point. Yeah. So if you could
nice.
snag them, it's like instant, playset. It's great.
Yeah, and because they are meant for 118, they'll work with a lot of other lines. Even if you don't collect the Joy Toy figures, the bases are
Yeah.
a good buy.
Look at that
Even
spider robot with the cannon
yeah,
on it. I mean, that thing is just sick, man. $29. Oh, I could buy a whole bunch of them. Even that one with the bipedal one is kind of goofy looking, but it's cool. I like it.
it
I
is.
like it.
They're
Yeah,
like
I like it.
century bots, and I think
Yeah,
the weapon on top you can remove and actually use it as a heavy weapon for some of the figures
dude,
too.
it's
And
it's really badass. Even that ATV, man, that thing is sick. Look at it.
it's very cool.
And then they do a space series that is reminiscent of like Warhammer 40K, and I think it came out first. But I was
It
saying
did.
like this is very similar to, and then it's no surprise that they later picked up the Warhammer license, because these guys are it's battle. I'm gonna screw it all up, but I think it's called like Battle Between the Stars or Battle for the Stars or something like that.
Yep.
I'm new to it. Don't
And
beat me up too bad.
yeah, that was their original IP, and I think that showed Games Workshop that they could obviously do something in the Warhammer genre when they saw
Battle
what they were
for the
going for.
Stars, I believe. Yeah.
That sounds right.
Uh, yeah. So Battle for the Stars. Yeah. Thank you. Look at this dude, the wolf guy, man. That's awesome. That's 123 for that 2-pack. But you got that hunched over giant wolf man, a space wolf man. Come on, that's badass. I love it.
And you can tell the scale of him compared to the other human figure. He's much bigger
Yeah.
than your typical 118. So
He's
you're
a
getting a lot
beast.
there.
On these pictures, I did filter the 118th scale stuff only, but like I said, there is tons of stuff. I mean, this is only page one of each of these categories. I didn't go that deep into it. And look how many slides we've gone to already. So just fantastic. I love that 3-pack of those Teutonic Knights. They just look marvelous. I absolutely
Yeah.
love them.
There's a little bit of a touch of cyberpunk. There's definitely hardcore sci-fi, and there's some post-apocalyptic sets too. If you want to go Mad Max.
So yeah, more of these the factions from their thing. And like I said, you're getting Warhammer vibes from a lot of this stuff. And then, like I said, no doubt later on. I love this guy over here just because of all the wild fantasy stuff. And then there was just the one guy, and his name's just Gregson.
Yep.
Yeah, I just love you got to add him in. But those mechs are like masterpieces. Like, that one picture doesn't even do it justice. If you look at all of the stuff that's like buttoned onto those mechs, all the little pouches and devices and like storage and stuff, it is marvelous. Absolutely.
And the mechs are super articulated, just like the figures, so they can actually get some really cool poses.
Yep. And just here's some more. And I don't want to bore you guys because I know a lot of you guys do it. But then you get into the Warhammer stuff. And anyone who's played Warhammer, we've all dabbled with it as kids. I still have, a full box set of the Space Marines from the set that came out in the 80s or 90s, half painted. I never finished it, but we still played. Seeing these in 1/18 scale is just marvelous. I mean, this is like one of those things where if you won the lottery, I'd buy every damn one of these things without question.
Yeah. If these had come out a few years ago when I was still playing Warhammer 40K, I would have been all over those because they're just awesome.
Just absolutely, I'm just gorgeous, man. So here we go. We get into my mail haul. And Jim, you could tell me a little bit about them. I guess a little more about them because some of these are from a couple of years ago, right? You picked them up.
Yes.
You've got
When we were in that kind of holding pattern, waiting for Valiverse to show up due to the coof and shipping kind of being put off. I was jonesing for something military style, and I was looking at these Joy Toys and decided to pull the trigger and try them out. So I picked up one of the modern military sets for American troops. I picked up a couple of post-apocalyptic Mad Max types, and I picked up some of the sci-fi flyer types, and then got to get the doggos because they're doggos. They're awesome. So yeah, they're really neat. I love the sci-fi look of these guys with the jetpacks. Very cool, and each one has a unique armor, but yet they're all part of the same squad. So they'll work in any kind of sci-fi storyline you got going. You make some space rangers out of them or whatever.
And they come beautifully packaged and in these trays, and opening them was a breeze. I did all that off camera, but this box has been sitting here for quite some time, and I've really wanted to get my hands on it. I was just waiting for the right opportunity because I wanted my kind of delight and surprise to be natural. I didn't want to have them for a while, so just before the show, I unboxed all of these, took these pictures, slapped them into this thing real quick, and set them up here on my table just to avoid having for you guys to listen to me crinkling through packages and fiddling around. So,
yes, we're both veterans of the marathon unboxings that Grindhead Jim put us through. So we learned from that.
Yeah. So these guys are just beautiful. I'll just go through some more slides as I was unboxing them. Just for anyone who hasn't seen Joy Toys products or understands them, like I said, beautiful packaging with lots of thing and very collector friendly because you could take them out, you could play with them, you could put them right back in their box for storage, and they're very well preserved. And at that premium price, you do want to take care of these. So here's that U.S. Modern military fire team.
Mm-hmm.
Here is the post-apocalyptic. I said on the package what they were. I forget what it said.
They're like a team of wasteland scavengers,
wastelanders or something. Yeah. Here's one of the flying cavalry men, and you could just see that they come with a tray. And I just wanted to show you all the accessories they come with. You have alternate heads, multitude of weapons, a laptop, binoculars, face masks, all kinds of great accessories. A lot of them are already on the characters too. Different assortment of hands that you could swap out for different poses and utility. And
another neat thing with these, like with the flying guys, they're wearing an exosuit, which is actually removable. So if you wanted to strip them down and just have them in their jumpsuit underneath to be on the base, you could do
I didn't even try to do that. Oh, wow. That's really cool. And I was going to say, like, if you look at the difference between the two of them, it's not like they used one buck and just recolored it for each member. The armor on this first guy and the second guy, you see that guy's got much chunkier armor. He's a beefy boy. And then the third guy, there's a little more similarity there between some of the pieces there, but even the knee pads are different. I think the shoulder armor is different. So, they swap it out, and all of their helmets have a very distinct and different look. So here they are all suited up, guys. I did this just minutes before. Wasn't sure if my toy cam was going to kick in, but we'll check out. We'll see if it works. But yeah, they even come with that nice case there to carry everything. I opened it up and it's full of heads and hands and all kinds of other little giblets there.
Yeah, so they do not they don't skimp on accessories, so you get a lot of little extra bits.
Mm-hmm. Here's the Wastelanders. Here's our flying cavalry.
Now, what are you using for your background base there?
Okay, so those are dollar store pegboard. They sell this like pegboard set that you could buy plastic pegs and shelves and stuff and organize your tool shed. But I figured they kind of looked like floor and walls, so I bought a bunch of them, and I just cable tied them together. I'm sure if I glued them or something, it would be a little more visually appealing. But I thought they make a decent little backdrop for now.
Yeah, and for somebody looking to do a quick and easy display, that's a great idea.
Yeah. So other one's a little blurry. I was rushing because I was trying to get ready for the show. So, but we could go. I'll jump on the toy cam and we'll take a closer look at these guys. But I mean the amount of detail, even just overwhelmed. I was overwhelmed taking each one of these figures out because I found myself kind of looking and I kind of had to hurry. So I was like, okay, let me pose them and just put them out, Uh, but I just got them out there. So yeah, we'll take a quick look here at just a couple other ones. Their heads and helmets are fully swappable. They have neck posts that pop out. And I didn't fiddle with all of them because I was afraid I was going to lose some pieces. So I left a lot of them without their helmets on. But yeah, look at that.
Yeah, that is one caveat I would say with Joy Toy is they are so super articulated and so many detailed parts. They're a bit fiddly. So wherever you're going to play with them, make sure you're somewhere where the carpet monster is going to eat parts if you drop something.
Yeah,
'Cause
that's
happen.
funny because it brings up and there's no file cards or names or anything with these guys. So I think I said this guy's name was Fred. This guy's Gustav, and this guy is Charlie right over here. So, and then there's the dogs. They are just beautiful. I actually got stuck playing with them the most because they have so much articulation. Then I just said, you know what? I better just take it easy and move on here. So yeah, so let's go. Let's pop the toy cam up here, and boom. Oh, not
And
like that.
Outer Multiverse is saying you can swap parts and make custom figures with these, just like you can with Valaverse and some other lines.
Very
because
nice.
they are so modular.
Yeah.
And yeah, the female faces on these for the 1/18th scale is really amazing.
So I think this is the guy that I think the picture came out a little blurry. So I'm going to see if I could get a little closer up on here. And you could just see that not only in the painting did they, they got the details right, but they also kind of gave him a wash that really brings out those details and kind of gives them this like grimier, kind of lived in look,
Mm-hmm.
And if we circle around here, I mean, just every part of him, his whole belt has different multicolored pouches, and like nothing is, even the armor plating has just superior detailing. Look at that paintwork. Just marvelous.
And even the under uniform that you don't see much of because of the armor has a wash to it as well. So everything's super detailed.
Oh yeah, you know what? This arm plate is moving now. I didn't even notice that upon my first kind of taking them out there. So what I wanted to do was just give you an example here. Here is just a regular 3 3/4 inch GI Joe figure. And
you can hold it down a little bit. There we go.
Yep.
Now we can see the heads. Oh, Ricondo.
I'm trying to hold them level here, but they work. I mean, he's like a head taller, but that doesn't exactly, he's wearing the armor. Maybe on like the female figures, it's a little more wonky. That's probably not the best fit. But here's like Gambit. He's a 4-inch figure. He fits in a lot better. Right?
Yeah. So you can definitely make them work with any other line,
Yeah. I mean, here's I just dropped something. Here's my bootleg peg leg pirate. I just like to get him in on anything going on, but these guys would be buddies.
Yeah. Fly him around.
And of course you got Loki there, but they stand pretty well.
I just had a thought, like lightning hit my brain. You know that somebody is having a custom mech contest. I think
yes.
That pirate should make a pirate mech.
You know what? I might have to make 2 now because I already made a plan.
That would be awesome.
Here's the pup. One thing I would say is they look a little small. Like they're not like I don't have any other dogs, but even just standing next to him, like
yeah, I think they should have been a slightly bigger, but
that's the only critique I would give. But look at the fur, the head's on a ball joint. The legs, look, they gave every joint in the legs articulation.
Oh yeah. So this has even better articulation than the timber that came with GI Joe Classified, and it's in 1/18th scale. It's crazy.
Yeah. Super Mutt. Yeah, they're beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. And, for anyone who just hasn't seen any of these, you've got this is like a little field laptop that they could use. I
Nice.
mean, the accessories are all just fabulous, here's that box, kind of give you a little cargo crate, and it's perfect for keeping all your little fiddly bits.
And it even came with a couple of extra joints. So if you have a joint that's loose, or if you lose one when you're custom
Oh, is that
swapping
right?
things, so there are some replacement pieces it comes with. I don't know if every set does, but some of the sets do.
Yeah. I really like this Wastelander character, so I just pulled her out. So we're not
Yeah.
gonna, but
I think
look at
she
that.
has an actual face underneath that helmet. Some of
Oh,
them
she
you don't
does.
have
Yeah.
to. Yeah. Some of them you
Yeah.
don't have to swap out the head, and the detail on the faces are really awesome,
Yeah,
especially on the females.
she looks great. I just love it. All the detail on that. And all these little bits work. See, the knife comes out.
Mm-hmm.
And
That's right.
it gives me,
Bjorn mentioned that Marauders did some dogs also. I'd forgotten that.
oh, so yeah, these are just fabulous. I mean, like I said, I'm kind of messing her up here, but
What I find is cool because of the detail and the fact that they don't give you a file card and you get to fill in the blanks. There's so much character in these characters because they're so detailed. You could make up a backstory just sitting there looking and
oh
playing with
yeah,
these guys for a minute. You can
like
kind of get in your head an idea of who they are because there's
yeah,
so much detail there.
look at this, the vest that Fred has on, and he is just packed. I mean,
Yeah,
and
loaded
then
for bear.
look at that.
And similar,
So,
like with Valiverse, they did with the modern and the World War II lines. All the weaponry is accurate to what those soldiers would carry. Now, of course, the sci-fi stuff is all sci-fi, but they really put attention to detail on the weaponry.
oh, fantastic. Well, Jim, I got to say thank you so much. I'm so impressed with these toys and so appreciative of you for, for sending them over my way.
Oh, you're
They're
very
definitely
welcome.
going to,
You're the 118 guy. I'm the 112th guy plus whatever. So it made more sense for you to have them and enjoy them.
they're definitely going to have a good home and, be integrated into a lot of different scenarios. So, but I
Cool.
think they work well enough, a little tall. They're the tall guys. If you mix them with your 3 3/4 Joes, but with the 4-inch stuff or modern Joes, I think they fit right in.
Yeah, I'd be curious what they look like next to a Marauders or a Fresh Monkey Fiction.
Yeah, and I don't have any of those close by.
Well, another
I'm
time.
yeah, but I'll be taking pictures of these guys and sharing them. But yeah,
And
just wonderful.
Outer Multiverse says that some of the heads and pieces are compatible with other lines, Star Wars, Eagle Force, etc. So if you're doing customs like our buddy Bjorn and others, you could maybe swap some of those extra parts with other mix and match guys. So that's cool.
Great. Do we
in
want
the
to take a
house.
look at see have you been keeping up a chat? Because I was kind of hunched over.
I have. I've just kind of been popping up when people say howdy.
Oh, okay, good. So what do you guys think of these, the Joy Toy stuff? I mean, I know that there's a lot of people in chat that know much more about this line than I do. But if you haven't seen anything about this line, what do you think about it? It's a premium, it's more of a model than a toy, in a lot of sense, and you do get what you pay for. The price is high, but I think it's definitely justified. You definitely get what you want, what you're paying for there. What about you guys? I know we got a lot of fans, but anyone who hasn't seen it yet, are you thinking about maybe getting them? Because I'm definitely looking to budget and get some more of these, and especially the Warhammer stuff.
Beta Ray is saying they definitely play well with Eagle Force and Marauders. So he's going to be probably putting those in with some of his other goodies.
Nice.
Boba. What's the best scale for NFT toys?
Just such a bastard.
I know. Bjorn's happy with the Joy Toy stuff.
Good. Excellent.
Scott has learned something new. So
Yeah.
Education.
I definitely understand that. Um,
Oh, some of the Aquaman 2 stuff's coming out. Edition Lamp
I've
says he
seen
found
a
some at
couple of
Target.
nice videos done on it, and it's like hit or miss. Some people are just getting them in some parts of the country, and other places they're just nowhere to be found. So I'm just wondering.
Distribution seems to be
Yeah, I'm just
problematic on a
wondering.
lot of toy lines
Plus,
these
like
days.
promotion and stuff, they're just popping up with no real announcements or fanfare. So it's kind of, to me,
The only
like,
one, the only one I'm really looking at is the Manta ship, because I'm hoping it might be
yeah,
compatible with the Superpowers Black Manta that recently came out.
it might be close. That ship is a little small, so it might be close. But I haven't seen a video on that one yet. I've seen just the figure 4 packs pop up. So we'll have to keep an eye on it. And obviously, if I find one, I'll snag one up for you. So,
Cool.
and I could do a couple of fits. Speaking of superpowers, I did want to make a point. I think Brian sent me an email just before this. Walmart stores are now clearancing the superpowers Batwing and Supermobiles. And his store had them for like $5, man. $5.
Wow.
I'd buy a couple of them and do maybe some customs and stuff. That's a fantastic deal. I never bought one because when it first came out, it was $19.99, and then it jumped up to $29.99, and that really, I don't know why, it just pissed me off, because even on the website it was still $19.99. I went to Walmart, tried to buy one, and they told me they couldn't adjust the price to the even when I scanned it with my phone in the Walmart store, it was coming up $19.99, saying in this store $19.99, but the sticker was different. And I just looked at it and I went, and I didn't like it. And they set up there for $29.99, just collecting dust for how many months now. My store still has them at $30, and I'm just waiting for them to go to 5. I would buy them at 20. If they just went back
Yeah,
to 20, I would have bought them, but not at. I know it's a loose fit for like the stuff that I like, but I think you can make it work.
absolutely. Especially that Batwing, you could totally customize that and make it into some other sci-fi ship if you wanted to.
Mm-hmm. So Joy Toy has a lot of great support role figures. Oh yeah, for world building, yes, they do.
Mm-hmm. And Infinity War Torn is he's definitely got some stuff on his checklist he's got to get to.
Yeah. Oh, and thanks to you guys, especially Bob's probably the biggest threat to my wallet. He got me into that Eagle Force, and I'm just looking at them, and I'm like, oh, what can I sell around here? I got 2 kidneys. Let me go for it.
Oh, there's that dreaded word, exclusive.
I
Target
hate it.
exclusives have shown up in central Alabama. I'm assuming that's about the Aquaman 2 Spin Master stuff, but
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think so. So yeah, it's you know, that's Acid Rain is another one. They're similar to Joy Toy, right? Or of the same caliber,
Same
and they just,
caliber, same premium price, but Acid Rain's kind of like its own property. I
yeah,
think
it's
I
like its
don't know if
own
it's
separate IP, but yeah,
yeah.
for world building, and definitely, guys, my plan is I am definitely looking to build my own little world, and all of these things would fit right in.
That is true. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see once you get your workshop up and running what kind of
Yeah.
displays you put together.
Oh, speaking of Infinity War Torn, he sent me, and I might bring it up again in a slide later on, but the Marvel Sentinels for the 1/18 scale, or the Titan
Hmm.
series Sentinels, are back up on
Yeah,
Amazon for anyone that didn't get them.
that's
And the 10-inch ones right back here.
okay.
So they had sold out, and I think he told me today that they're back on Amazon. So if you go search for them, you guys can pick
No,
those up.
did they figure out that snafu where you'd order a Sentinel and they'd give you a Wolverine instead?
Yeah, they got that straightened out.
Good.
Army
I know a
building
lot.
Wolverines.
Oh
That
yeah.
was ridiculous.
So
Yep. All right,
Scott's
cool
saying
stuff, man.
yeah.
Yeah.
lot of stuff.
Okay. $11. That's even reasonable too. You know, they don't have to go down to 5. I mean, at 5, I'll buy more, but at 11, I'd buy a couple. Paul, how are you, buddy?
You know, Paul reminds me, our buddy Jeff from Skunk Works put out a update, and he was mentioning something that I think is a very big oversight on Hasbro's part. It's the 60th anniversary of GI Joe.
Is it?
They're not doing any 12-inch GI Joe, and that's
Really?
what it's the anniversary of. They
Really?
put out a couple of things that they talked about on their what do you call it, PulseCon or whatever their
Yeah.
announcement thing is. And they're doing some in 1/12 scale, but they don't look anything like the old Adventure Team or 60s guys. They didn't even do a head, you know, the Joe head with, you know, with the beard or anything.
I would
like
love
that.
a
So it's like,
60th anniversary, you know, commemorative set, and they should do one in all the
yeah,
scales. They should do a 12-inch. They should do a new classified one and entertain that crowd. And they should do a
they
commemorative
did
O-ring set.
they did a for the collectors club, which was, you know, very hard to get and is now super expensive on the secondary market. They did 1/18 scale, actually more the 4-inch scale of the Adventure Team, which it was the Land Adventurer, the Sea Adventurer, the Air Adventurer, the Commander, and a villain. And each of them came with their vehicle, so you could, you know, you had the ATV that was known for the Land Raider or the Land Raider, the Land
I
Adventurer.
never heard of that. Yeah.
Well, again, it was.
It's like 10 years
I
ago.
don't remember. Paul would know. I don't remember exactly what year, but it was at one of the conventions a few years ago, and you could only get it at the convention, I think, or if you ordered it from the Collectors Club. So it was a very limited run. And now, if you look at them on secondary market, they're crazy expensive.
Super
they could have re-released those. They have the molds. They didn't make them that long ago.
I mean, I'm just saying, are we all going to be around for the 70th anniversary or even the 80th? I mean, come on, they've got their customers and we're aging. So, you know, it's next up, we got Chap Mei. So guys, you know, real quick on the Chap Mei thing. I'll just say it like this, you know, that Chap Mei Acid First Beta, we've been covering it on the channel. We've been really excited. They've really done that dynamite social media, you know, kind of teaser campaign. Yeah, BETARAYBOB is the great enabler. Yes. And you know, they've been doing a fantastic job. But all on one part, though, they're not doing a great job is really with forthcoming information on when this stuff is going to come out. Because I believe back in, you know, August, Chap Mei replied to a comment on one of their social media posts saying that they would be out in the end of August, early September. They did not, however. They were out in that time, but in Europe, not in the US. So maybe I should have specified because they are a nationwide company. 1/160th scale. Jesus. I've got a whole collection right here. You can't see them? What are you talking about?
Jada Toys did some in a smaller scale that were not quite Matchbox size, but a little larger, where they did like the Vamp and the Hiss Tank, I think. But yeah,
but that's
it's not in my wheelhouse.
1/64th, isn't Hot Wheels like 1/64th? So 1/160's got to be like super tiny. Oh my god. So yeah, so with, you know, with Chap Mei, just kind of, they put them out. People were leaking image, or not leaking images, but sharing images of online retailers in Europe and whatnot. They were popping up over there. Last week we did the thing where they're even branded as Dynaforce in certain countries. So
Bjorn's saying that the toy store he works at, they just got in a Chap Mei vehicle. So
that's the big one that I did the video on.
okay,
I think it's called the I forget, but anyway, it's a big old vehicle with the jet that attaches to it.
Okay. Yeah,
they had them I agree. At Sam's Club.
Josiah is saying that they should put an online store together. It would just be so much better because there's international buyers who want this stuff.
The same thing with Leonard. I mean, 3 weeks ago, they posted that they were opening an Amazon store. Very excited for that because it makes sense. They could sell it through Amazon. even on the banner of their Amazon store, they show all of those Badlands vehicles, the big Mad Max looking stuff, and that jet. They've had one figure pack on there for the last 3 weeks, and they keep saying they're going to add more stuff. So until I see it, I don't even want to talk about it, And so anyway, no one knew what was going on. I know people were checking Dollar General stores. I was checking Dollar General stores. These things aren't coming out. I wrote Chap Mei an email and I just said, hey, what's the deal, man? Like, are these coming to the US? And they wrote me back. I didn't think they would, but they wrote me back. I will say that some of this, I guess, is translated from, Chinese. So the wording might be a little weird, but we know what they're talking about. So, don't get hung up on that. I did send them some other questions. They're not like groundbreaking stuff, but they were nice enough to answer. So I thought I'd feature it on the show. Before that, last week I did go over and join a nice Chap Mei Acidverse beta fan and collectors group over on Facebook. And, the guy running that, I think his name is Frontline. Really great guy. He's been linking our shows and in my videos. So, just real welcoming. And I made this little Chap Mei beta bot welcome banner for the page there. So yeah, it's a real fun group.
There's a question in the chat real quick before we dive into Chap Mei.
Oh,
did anybody get a hold of that Blue Beetle bug that was the Popcorn Bowl Cinemark exclusive?
Yes, I never picked one up, but I believe it was Dish and Laughs sent me pictures of his with figures in it. I think we covered it a couple weeks ago on the show, but yeah, he sent me some pictures and I'll pull them up. But yeah, it looks pretty cool. It's a little maybe small. Leonard only discovered the internet 3 years ago.
They do have a website, but it's just to show off some of their stuff. You can't order anything online, which is a bummer.
Yeah. Same thing though, why depend on retailers when you could just ship directly? Dude, I'd love to see Chap Mei at any convention. I asked them also if they would come on the show and talk to me. And they said to just send them the links and that they would review my channel. So maybe not. I'd love to have a conversation with the creative team, though. I thought, in my recent video that I put out, I just said that this is definitely a step in a new direction for them compared to what they usually would put out. And so some of the answers I got.
It's hard to find Chap Mei in any area.
So this is my question to them. I said, the new Acidverse beta toy line from Chap Mei looks amazing. From the teaser post you started with to the comic and giveaway contest you ran on social media, you really have captured the attention and imagination of people all over the world. Congratulations to the team involved in creating what I believe to be an incredibly successful toy line. And their answer was just simply, we appreciate that the comics and giveaway contest got so many great support, and it was a shot in the arm for the new Acid brand release. So not really an answer, but, just a nice little reply there. So I got to say they were very kind to even, I didn't expect a reply. So I'm just happy that they did. So then I wrote, it really seems like this new Acidverse beta toy line is much more robust in story and products compared to previous releases and similar product lines from your company. Why the change? Why now? So they answered, thanks for asking. And they say, change is everything. Chap Mei has been in the toy brand for 50 years. We hope continuously striving to find new niche for toy development and implement new ideas in product story, especially product design. So I think it's kind of a canned response. I'm not saying like they, but it doesn't really say that they did respond though. And it's a great response. And I think, we'd like to see this. So furthermore, I asked, well, I did ask this one and I got completely a cut and paste response because I said, what is the inspiration behind the new toy line and the supporting story that goes along with it? And they just sent, this is just what is posted on the website. Mm-hmm. So that one wasn't really the best thing, but I did say, is there a second comic coming out and can we expect more from this line in the future, new characters, vehicles, and play sets. Currently, there's only 2 hero characters and 2 villain characters, which are, all robots, so it's not really a big deal. But they said, yes, comic chapter 2 will surprise you with a tight plot and great characters. And please keep your eyes open for October. So any day now, guys, we'll be getting that
Nice.
comic from Chap Mei. So that was really cool. And then I just said that the setting of the Acidverse beta line is futuristic, science fiction based. Do you have any plans to apply the same storytelling, branding, and kind of cohesive, stuff to any other lines? Because they've done wonderful prehistoric, military, and space exploration stuff. And they said that their research and development department has been making a new series of toys like fantasy and robots as well. Please stay tuned for our new brand launch afterwards. So that
I
means
wonder
sometime in the
then,
future.
this might be a new direction for the company. Instead of doing generic toy sets, they're going to be doing their own IPs. That would be awesome because they've
Yeah.
kind of sort of did that a little bit with the Dino stuff and some of the other
Mhm.
ones.
Yeah, they were very
But
loosely based, but there was no character names. There was no story behind them. It was just like, here's a world where dinosaurs run loose. And, as a kid, you have the imagination to round them up. So,
yeah, Bjorn has an interesting idea. I wonder if you were to find a way to become a wholesaler for Chap May and
sure.
or Leonard, would that help with getting
So,
distribution figured out?
yeah, I think Bjorn, we had talked about that one other time where I said, us as toy collectors should just form a corporation, um, and with this, with the sole purpose of just buying for ourselves and maybe selling to a couple of people, But I think the minimum order quantity, right, would be probably
Pretty big.
something way high. You know what I mean? Where if you weren't turning this stuff, you may have to buy an entire pallet of one item.
Mhm.
That might be the minimum, and it might be more than that. It might be several pallets.
And the
Um,
shipping prices right now are through the roof.
yeah,
And
freight
when you're
charges are
ordering
what
mass
kill
quantities,
you. Yeah, I
yeah.
order and sell some hardware and sundry items for the business that I run, and I could get a lot of stuff dirt cheap with really high markups on it. But the shipping always brings it right back down to, where I'm lucky to be getting 20 to 30% on the stuff because I'm paying all that shipping cost.
That's a good point. Chap May, I think, does do really good vehicles. I've
Oh,
known people for many years who've bought Chap May vehicles for their Joes or their Leonard Core guys
also
because they
their
do
play
really
sets.
cool stuff. Yeah, the
Yeah.
play sets too. Good point.
So, and then I asked, where can fans find your products? And then they were just very forthcoming with this. They said for the first stage, fans can find these acid products and Asda, Tesco, BR, etc. And then you could purchase them in the US next year, but they did not say
Okay.
which retailers. And then when can we expect them to be on store shelves? So then they said, thanks for asking. They'll launch in Europe and some other countries in the start of August, which was correct. So the comment I got was correct. I just didn't specify the US launch. And
Right.
I kind of also suspect that they may be having a hard time getting in with some of these retailers. They may be kind of being nosed out from other bigger companies. So, they're more reliable. I noticed even Big Lots, for example, Hasbro's been doing so rather than like Big Lots getting let me pull this down for a second, but like one thing I noticed was that like for example, like Big Lots used to just get like new old stock from like places like Walmart and stuff. So I was finding like Marvel Universe 3.75-inch figures in there back in like I think I even found one in like 2018 at a Dollar General or a Big Lots on the peg. It was old,
Mm.
it was new old stock. Recently, in the last few years, I've noticed that like Hasbro has been doing these figures, and they're kind of like these guys where they're like value figures for like two
So they're
dollars. So instead of like Big Lots just waiting until Hasbro sends, our other retailers and they buy out the lots of like the older figures, these toy manufacturers have been doing like those shampoo bottle figures, the big 10-inch, and making Hasbro branded stuff. So it's the same stuff as that's going out. Remember they made all those GI Joe figures? They're like 5.5 inch and they're like this, like 2 POA, and they're like
Right.
$2. They've been filling the store shelves with that. So that's kind of, so they created like this mid-tier stuff, or like a discount tier of brand new product that they just ship. So there's no more closeout. It cuts right into that competition. Yes. Chap Mei mech, perfect. Yeah, that would be great. Anyway, so I'm really hoping that through this campaign, the support they're getting and the attention that they're getting, that some retailers will wake up, realize that this is a good idea, and they'll be hitting store shelves.
And Goji-chan brings up a good point. They have a lot of older lines that they could re-release. Vikings, True Legends. I think your pirate might have been a Chap Mei. I think they did a pirates line as well. So there's all kinds of goodies they could put back out and defeat the secondary market scalpers.
Absolutely. And it's just, I don't know. Anyway, they were very nice, and so I just want to thank Chap Mei for just kind of clearing up some of that misinformation. And I don't think it was misinformation. I just think they just didn't put it out there. Oh God. Name of the new corporation should be Alliance of Non-Fungible Token Toy Collectors from the Fourth Dimension. Rolls right off the tongue. Absolutely. I didn't even practice that. So, so yeah, let's see what chat's got for us. Anything? Okay, so other than that, we're good, right?
Goji-tron just made a mention of what's going on.
Yeah.
Goji-tron,
you should have just said it, because I just took 5 minutes to say what you said in one line there. Hasbro's been flooding Big Lots and Five Below with cheap license figures, bad for Chap Mei and Lantern.
Yeah, if you guys have been following world-class bullshitters, they have been showing the glut of Hasbro failures of all the Star Wars stuff, the Black Panther stuff, all the things from the movies. The Eternals are still out there collecting dust. Figure lines that the movies didn't do well, so the toys didn't do well. And they're just, they can't get rid of these things. They're just filling the shelves, which means there's no shelf space for other lines people would actually buy.
So we see like Ollie's being packed with this stuff. I've got a picture from when I was on vacation, and it was this mountain. It looked like a mountain in the center aisle of, I think it was Black Panther merchandise, just case upon case of it. But yeah, Ollie's has kind of become the new Big Lots, like what Big Lots used to be like. And it's just weird. So I don't know what I have next here. Whoa. I just skipped ahead. Community contributions. And before we do that, I've got to play.
That's catchy.
It is. I wonder who did that, man. Whoever did that's awesome. Thanks, Jim. So yeah, community contributions. Not too many today. I mentioned some ahead of time. If you ever have anything, you could just shoot me an email or shoot me a message over on Instagram. I'd be happy to, give you a shout out and cover it on the show. So thank you. But yeah, so this one comes from Goji-tron.
Nice.
And Goji-tron has a great new series. He just released a video called Goji's Thrift Box, where he goes into his little treasure chest and pulls something out and gives us a ton of wonderful information on it. So if you haven't done so, or if one of you guys can, just link that in the description or in the comments now. It is in the description below. But yeah. Goji's Thrift Box, just creepy classic.
He finds the coolest stuff, man. He just knows where to find it.
Just blew my mind. So yeah, just fantastic. But what he brought up was something that I didn't know about when he told me, but since he told me about it and I decided to keep it in the show or put it in the show, I've been seeing it pop up everywhere, and that is the Kickstarter for the Cyberzoic. Right?
Oh, yeah, I totally forgot about that.
Dinosaur and dragon action figures. This is like modern day Dino Riders, people. It's really cool. And the guy running it, David Silva, he's from Hackensack, New Jersey.
Salute.
I lived like 5 minutes away from Hackensack. I grew up there. I know Hackensack very well. And
Did you hacky sack in Hackensack?
I have never hacky sacked in Hackensack, but I do remember that I believe it's in Superman, the first Superman movie, when Lex Luthor's sending the nuclear missile. What's her name? The woman. She goes, "My
Miss
sister lives in
Tessmacher.
Hackensack. She'll be killed or something." He's like, forget it. And then she decides to. But I always just thought that was funny. Right in my neck of the woods.
There you
So
go.
yeah, really cool. So David Silva's involved. Here's just some of the other people involved with the project. I don't know the names very well, but they just reached their goal, guys. There's still 20. This was a couple days ago, so maybe there's 25 days or 24 days left. They're well past this goal now. So this looks really cool. So I just thought, thank you, Gojatron, for sending me the info on this. I thought we'd take a look at some of the sets.
They're neat. Infinity War-Torn says he's really excited about this project.
All I
do
gotta
have some
say
cool
is,
designs.
I think they are fantastic. I think anyone who could afford to go get them, I will just say right off the bat, I can't afford these right now. There's just so much great stuff coming out. And that's not a dig on these or any other thing, man. Buy what you love. But like 118 is freaking alive, man. When I start doing this show, it's because there's really not much talked about online, in the 118 scale place. But geez, we came up with, from the Common Rider stuff that I could spend so much money on all of that. The Fresh Monkey Fiction and Eagle Force stuff, all of these Kickstarters coming out, the O-Ring Renaissance. There is more to buy than any reasonable person can afford. And actually, if you could afford all of these, you're still a reasonable person, and I like you. Hit me up, though. Come on the show, because I'll live vicariously through you. But yeah,
another cool thing about these reimaginings of classic lines is the attention to detail is crazy good. You can tell from the paint apps just on these samples are showing. They're going all out on this.
This is the figure with the I think what is this thing called? The
armored Gesundheit. I can't pronounce
the Arkilobator.
That sounds dirty.
Anyway, not bad though. You get that beautifully detailed beast that is rideable, plus the fully articulated figure. Just fantastic. And it's looking at like the figure is, they have a price breakdown here. It's about $25. The armor and everything is $40 and $100 for the giant dino. So and these might be out of order too. I think I just realized the first one said 6 and this one says 1. So my bad.
They do have definite Dino Rider vibes. I agree with that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and they look cool. Yes, I know. I'm like all in 2 times on that set plus army builders. So like, where am I going to get that? I don't know, but I have to do it. Hey, Baines, how are you? So yeah, this just looks fantastic. So congratulations to the team involved on this, for making this a reality, because the more of this stuff that comes out there, I just love it all, man. And like I said, one of these days I'll hit the Powerball and just, buy all this crap up. So nice. We get a third set here, an Arctic Dragon. That's 31 inches from head to tail.
Wow.
Yeah, and 10.5 inches tall. That's a $200 item.
Were any of these represented at PowerCon? Do you know from anyone who went?
They might have been there, and I don't remember because when Goji sent me the link, I was familiar. I had heard the name before, but I was like, I didn't realize it was going on now. I didn't realize that they had fully funded, and I didn't realize like how soon it was upon us. I had heard someone was doing something like this, but I didn't know more than that.
When we talk to Hella Dope tonight, we should bring this up and see if this is going to be something that they're going to be carrying, or if they know anything about the line.
I really wish the thing with the Kickstarters is that it is that fear of missing out or that FOMO, because it's like a one-time opportunity to get all these things in at that time. Not every Kickstarter company is going to be like a Valaverse who then goes into their own kind of self um, sustaining, toy company that's going to release future waves and products you can get your hands on.
Logic Blaster brings up a very good point. Star Wars has kind of been anemic on the vehicle side for
Oh,
118.
absolutely. If Chap
And
Mei came in
if somebody
and
was doing sci-fi vehicles, there's a definite market.
oh, 100%, man. Like that is, I think, one of the biggest and play sets / mini play sets, like diorama pieces. Hasbro could produce them for they're a $1 billion company. They could make a back alley street, city street kind of thing for Marvel Legends or Marvel 1/18 scale figures. They can make, you know, Spin Master's been making Batcave play sets. They can make
Yeah.
play sets.
And if you can still find that McFarlane Batcave from the Batman 66 line, it actually scales better with 118 than it does the larger figures.
Yeah,
A
I've
couple of
heard
guys
that.
are saying that this line was represented at PowerCon, so
Oh,
we'll have
cool.
to
Okay.
talk to guys. What time are we
Excellent.
doing Hella Dope tonight? I think it's what,
Hello Dope's at 8:30.
9?
I thought it
9.
was 8:30. I'll check, but it might be 9.
It's
Let me
9
double check.
according to Gojitron. And
Oh, okay. Well,
I once thought Goji
Gojitron's-
was wrong, but he was mistaken.
So yeah, we've got this saber-tooth tiger, and the chick looks awesome. Look at her; she looks like a badass.
Yeah, all the figures for this they've gone really super detailed, much better than the line that inspired them as far as
Oh
detail.
yeah, definitely. Yeah, this is definitely not a remake, but a reimagining and a lifting up of the previous IP.
Crystar, it's another one. We it's kind of an oddball one that they threw in the
Mhm.
Marvel Legends line. It would have made more sense, I think, in 118. But
Yeah. So Scott, she's wearing. Yeah. Let me. Can I do full screen on this? Can you see a little better? She's like a woodland or like a wood elf kind of character. I don't know if she's an elf, but she's got some kind of green face paint or something on her face.
war paint,
in that scene. Yeah, like war paint or something.
and the all important boob armor that is so practical.
You do have to properly support. So yeah. So then there's this one, which is just a digital render, but it's another saber-tooth tiger that unlocks at 255, which they might even be at by
Yes,
now.
Bjorn, they have a tiger just for you, buddy.
And then there was if you're involved in the set, you could buy the 3-pack here for 450, which is a discount from I think somewhere way over that, which is a good deal. If, like I said, if these things, it's a good problem to have. There's more to buy than you could choose to buy. It's better than being like a drought. You know what I mean? It's like we're feasting right now, and I hope it continues, and I hope the big toy companies take notice of how successful a lot of these smaller ventures are, and maybe hire some of these people as their creative people. Like, I don't know what the pipeline is to working at these big toy companies, but it doesn't seem like it comes from a place of passion or you know what I mean, or like wanting to do these things or changing it or innovation. No passion, no innovation. It's regurgitate, rehash,
Right.
and
I'm kind of hoping that these bigger companies don't recruit some of these designers. I'd like to see some of these smaller boutique type lines take the lion's share of the market, because the big companies are out of touch.
And here's like a little smaller set here, $77. You get this little Sentry with a figure. He's not quite a rider, but he's armored and pretty cool.
Everybody loves dinosaurs. It's kind of hard to go wrong with dinos.
Yeah, guys. I mean, I didn't know much about it, so I know this isn't breaking news because I just found out about it. But ever since Goji told me, I've been seeing it pop up on like all these news feeds and YouTube channels. So I was really glad that he told me about that. And then you know, I got to put it in there. So that was really nice. So guys, the mech contest update. What can I say? All right, I did say that to be determined was the prize, right? I don't know. I still don't know. I was gonna actually I changed it right before the show. I put a poll up on the community tab of this YouTube channel, Wilhelm Toy and Hobby. If you could go, there's two polls. One is just I was just trying to gauge interest. Like, so if you're competing in it, just go answer yes. If you're not, hit no. That way I know how many contestants there are. If there's 3 contestants, then we're not going to have a competition. We're just going to have 3 winners. If there's 10 contestants, then we'll have 3 winners. And that'll determine the prize too. I mean, I don't want to put up a prize and then there's only 3 people playing. You know, it doesn't really make much sense. So, you know, if you guys could go answer that poll, it will help me make a determination. So, you know, just I mean, real quick, guys, if you guys are competing in the thing, what kind of prize do you think would be best? Toys, like someone offered to donate some toys they had from their collection to the contest on my behalf. An NFT prize option, yeah, Bjorn, for you. Or would you rather just like a gift card to a toy retailer or some kind of monetary prize? Um, you know, let me know. Please go take that poll and, you know, we'll complete the poll and we'll decide. Guys, if you are competing in the thing, you could email your entries to 118actionuniverse@gmail.com. It's better than using Instagram because from what I understand, Instagram does compress the images. So if you send them to me, we'll get the best photos of your work at 118actionuniverse@gmail.com.
Would you like to explain to Scott what an NFT is and why that's a running joke?
It's not an effing thing.
It's a non-fiduciary,
Non-fungible
basically
token or
right,
something. Yeah.
something like that. It's a virtual toy that Mattel and a few other companies were trying to get off the line a couple of years ago, and it was just so silly.
Of course,
Yes.
Gojitron nailed it. No effing toy. That's
Exactly.
what it is.
So they were trying, and they're still, I think, on their Mattel, whatever their version of Pulse is. Mattel name went right out of my head. They're trying to tie it in with like the Hot Wheels, where if you buy their collector club Hot Wheel, you get an NFT version, a virtual version, a computer you can see on your computer kind of thing. It's goofy. It doesn't make
It
any
really
sense.
is. Actually, Jim,
So
you and I did a stream on the before anyone ever watched my channel, but we did do a stream on the McFarlane Toys launch of the NFT
that's right.
or the McFarlane Digital. It blew my mind. I thought it was a joke at first, and it was just, yeah, ugh, it's really bad.
Yes.
It's really bad.
Non-fungible token. Video game
Yeah.
makers went crazy for them, and they failed miserably. So
Absolutely. So, yep, guys, if you'd like to compete, let me know. Listen, there's going to be a prize. Even if someone doesn't want it, if you win the contest, I'm going to give you something. But I just don't know what it is yet. But I mean, I'm good for it. Please just, you know, start working on your mechs. Send those pictures in. I can't wait to see what you guys come up with.
it'll be cool.
We got an O-ring update. We got some O-rings action going on here. Guys, Zika Toys or Zyka Toys, which on the It's Chad show, I was privileged to learn it's pronounced Zyka, but I don't know. I could be wrong. But I think the guy said it was Zyka Toys. I think maybe he was Zika Toys, and then that thing happened, so he was like, "Oh no, we're Zyka." No, I don't know if that's true or not. Anyway,
Tomato.
they're doing a Kickstarter. And this is in conjunction with the Fist toy line that's coming out. That is a 1/12 scale toy line, but they are doing retro action figures, O-ring action figure versions of their Fist Trooper, Mad Dog, the safe figures. These are the orcs. These guys are freaking awesome. The Doom Trooper and the Doom
Interdimensional
Sinner.
orcs.
Interdimensional orcs. This Kickstarter is going live, guys. There is a link in the description. Go check out Zyka Toys, and this is going to be awesome. And then there's also the Pocket People, classic O-ring. They've got a mercenary figure, and then Hamilton's Invaders Trooper. So really cool stuff there. Go check that out. That is launching next week, I believe. Yep. 6 figures.
Kind of wonder if they're going for the Adventure People vibe, the old Fisher
Yes.
Price line.
As a matter of fact, on the It's Chad show that I saw the guy from, his Pocket People are a reflection or inspired by the Fisher Price Adventure People.
I was kind of hoping to be Village People because I'd like to have the whole Village People band.
And then once again, Delta 17. My favorite
Yes.
new toy line. I'm gonna plug them on every show, guys. I'm sorry. If you don't want to hear about them, they're coming at you anyway. But Delta 17, go check out Ken's over on Toy Connections, his heroes and villains thing to get all caught up. Check out this factory image.
Ooh, they're in production. Wraith Mace wants to know, because he missed the beginning of the show, what do you think of your first
I
Joy
love
Toy
them, man. They're
experience?
freaking awesome. Look at this guy. They're fantastic, man. Look at them. Yeah, Jim's the best, man. He sent these over to me, and I couldn't be happier with them. They are fantastic. Oh, I'll definitely be taking more photos and setting them up in more scenarios. So they're going to be great. Yeah, that's a whole bin there full of Okami heads. So yeah, that's a really cool looking. I love those factory shots. That's really cool. So yep, over on the toyhabits.com, they did a breakdown and a rundown of the whole first wave. So if you want to know anything about the characters, where to get them, the prices, all that stuff, go over there, check out that article.
Very cool.
They've also got a really wonderful photographer. I don't know how they got this 1/18 scale figure to stand in there with the rushing water passing over them. It's just
impressive.
amazing. It's very impressive. And then here's just a little close up here of Leonidas with the pupper. I forget the pup's name. And the best accessory ever, the dog bowl. So just if you haven't seen that yet, he comes with a detachable dog bowl that goes on his backpack. The dog rides on the top of the backpack, and Steve has also said that the dog will grow. So in wave 2, we're going to get a smaller dog with articulation, and then he's going to get bigger and bigger as we go along.
Cool. It'll be interesting to see which is the fan favorite of that line, Leonidas or Rooster, or which one is going to be
actually
the
said
big
some
one.
guy made a Marauders version of Rooster and sent it to him. He showed it on his stream earlier today. So I think Rooster is going to be a big one, man. But I also like Preacher. Something about him definitely gives me
Eduardo
like
likes
vibes.
Rooster for obvious reasons.
All right. And then we've got some other stuff. What other stuff, may you ask? Well, Marvel stuff. Last week I think we took a look at the new Marvel Epic Hero Series checklist for 2024. Mr. Stevie over on Instagram, he works for Hasbro. He posted this new checklist, so I just figured we could do some speculation. So we do know, and Jim, you weren't here for it, but they're re-releasing a lot of the Avengers figures on a new card back. It's a blister card design. There's going to be a couple of new figures. The Iron Man is not a reissue. He is recolored, and he has a new chest symbol too. So he's kind of a resculpt.
So this is kind of like their answer to the Spin Master DC line?
Sure, yeah. So last year they did those Mechasaur figures. They're re-releasing a lot of those Avengers characters just as a single carded figure now. So you got Sam Wilson Cap. You got Black Panther coming out just as a single figure. They've got Thor, but now he comes with a proper Mjolnir instead of the what was that, like a Stegosaurus with a stick up its butt. They've got a Hulk, and they're doing a Thanos with removable Infinity
Infinity
Gauntlet. So
Gauntlet.
I could get rid of this two-dimensional,
Nice.
super flat one that I bought for. Oh, and Steve Rogers Cap is joining the line. So they're going to
Nice.
do a Steve Rogers Captain America, and then they're doing a vehicle. It looks like it's like an ATV for Black Panther.
Oh, okay.
So I think it's a great direction for the line. They kind of lost the Mechasaur gimmick, which some people loved. I thought it was a great idea, but maybe could have been implemented better.
Yeah.
Because it also drove the price up. It like doubled the price of the figures. So for
If they're
doubling the
going to
price of the
go
figures,
comic book Avengers, I'd love to see them do a Quinjet in this scale.
it would be amazing. I would love to see that. So they've got a lot of question marks here on these next two rows. And I'm just curious to, what are some of the things that you'd like to see come from it? I've said this in my videos. I've said it on this live stream, but come on, guys, just combine the aesthetic choices that you did with this Marvel Retros line with the articulation and construction of this one, and you've got a classic toy line. It would be an absolute hit. These were a hit. I love these. They just were charging more than they charge for these figures. These were like 15 or 13, I think. And then
with less
but they were not
articulation.
They were like $9.99 when they first came out, and then they bumped them up to like 13 when people liked them. Then they sat on store shelves, and then I bought most of mine clearance for $5 each.
Will the Spideys be part of this new line, you think?
Yeah, so
Or
I
is the
think they'll
Spidey line
always,
still going?
yeah, the Spidey line's still going. So these are the same line, same universe. So yeah, the articulation's not perfect, but I think it's enough to have some fun. And that's what these toys are about. They're $10 toys that are for having fun, but they could definitely do some really cool and exciting character choices. I really do think villains and some more female characters would really help the line because they
Yeah.
really don't have a lot of bad guys.
The question is, will this line survive longer than that Hasbro line that they didn't support?
Well,
They
I
put it
certainly
out for a
hope
minute.
so. And I'll just say that the Spin Master Batman line, which also has a lot of reissues in it and its own issues, I think was a wonderful front line. How's it going, buddy? Yeah. So yeah, retro with articulation, man. I think that's the hit. But Spin Master's been going strong for many years now. I believe they started that 4-inch line back in 2019. And I think the biggest hiccup they've had was these movie licenses, and they've kind of gone in different directions, and it's kind of paused that line. But if you want an evergreen line, that's so collectors, adult collectors, were complaining about Spin Master with like, oh, here we go, we got another Batman. Every line has a Batman in it. But you know what? There's a kid every year coming of age and finding out about Batman. So
That's true.
that's not a bad thing. That's fine.
No, and
We're
it's
just seeing,
like it when we were kids. There was always, either the Mego superheroes. You always had certain core characters that were always in the line every year.
So I think they do it 50-50. You know what I mean? They put some core characters out, and if they do 4 waves a year or something like that, put a couple of core characters and then mix it up. They're doing that Thanos figure, throw in an Ultron, throw in some X-Men baddies. I think the X-Men 97 stuff and that new series is supposed to start. So I'm really hoping to see Magneto, some of the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants. Spider-Man has such a wonderful rogues gallery of villains, and Spin Master's done a pretty good job of villains as well. I would love to see some more Spidey villains.
Yeah. Yeah, I love those old Migos. Those were awesome. Now, I think Goji had said something about Mego getting the Marvel license to do 8-inch figures again sometime.
That would be pretty
next year.
sweet. Yeah.
I have to double check on that because that would be awesome.
That's right. And I didn't know who Firefly and Killer Moth even were. They just like left my memory until I saw the figure, but I thought they looked awesome. So I grabbed them, and then I found out more about them.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
There's a lot of cool figures from the superheroes that Mego has
Man,
been
if they
putting out.
were, because I think the aesthetic choices, whoever did the designs for these, like this is my favorite Loki. This Loki, that's why he's always showing up in my videos and messing around because he just looks so cool. Look how evil he looks. Like he looks so, he's about to get up to something at all times, but he doesn't articulate very well. So, you know, uh, it would be nicer. Anyway, I think that's everything I've got for today. So thank you. Thank you. You guys have a great day. Jim, other than us appearing tonight on Hello Dope Toys, hanging out with those fine fellas, what do you got going on?
Well, due to having a pretty nasty illness, I'm kind of backlogged. I've got several videos that are in pre-production. Hopefully next week I'll be putting some stuff out. So stuff from the new series Unheimlich will be coming out. Some more Joe's Toy Adventures, AT-76 kind of stuff, and we'll be revisiting Action Force in the very near future. So all those things are in the pipe. Oh, and we're doing a show on BCs and Baddies with Gojitron in the near future for a Halloween special. And you're muted. You muted yourself, Will. There you go.
Oh, I just gave out the secret to Everlasting Life, and but
I
I can't remember it now. Yeah, I missed it. Oh well. But yeah, if you guys aren't subscribed, go over to Largo's Lair, where Largo does a lot of awesome stuff on his own, and I even get to join him sometimes and have some fun too. So you guys, it'll be a good time. So yeah, tonight, Hella Dope Toys. It's those Hella Dope boys versus me and Largo. We're gonna just
we got beef.
Yeah, we got beef, and we're gonna air it all out, guys. You're gonna hear all the dirty behind the scenes stuff. So go check it out. No, but thank you so much. Working on some videos, obviously, for myself. We'll be back here next week. You guys all have a great week. Thank you so much for watching. Please go do that poll if you're part of the Met contest. If you're not, it doesn't matter. But if you want to take part in that Met contest, it really helped me figure out how to do this. So, guys, thank you. Have a wonderful day. And I will talk to you next time.
The very near future.
I got to play that exit.